Casino-Ramic Grill Room. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gareth Wheeler, and I want to personally wish a very happy birthday to David Suzuki, Tommy Hilfiger, Peyton Manning, Justin McGowan, TJ Ford, and there's another guy too we're going to talk about in a couple seconds from now. But first, I want to welcome Paul Jones to the show. It's not your birthday, is it?
No. It should be, though, with those guys. I mean, that's pretty good.
How about you, Darren Andrade?
It's my birthday every day.
You just celebrate it.
That's it. That's how we do it.
As long as you're not in the birthday suit, I really don't care, buddy. That's it. Will Strickland, welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. It's my brother's birthday, his 36th birthday. So
Nice.
welcome, happy birthday, my little brother.
Is he
man.
a little brother or older brother?
He's my little brother. You know, I'm not going to tell the age, but he's in Afghanistan fighting, you know, trying to do his thing.
You don't
so.
look in a day over 30-something.
30-something. Checks in the mail.
Here's tonight's leadoff. And the other guy's birthday it is Chris Bosh. Happy 25th. Had a big party on Sunday. Not much of a party for him today. A lawsuit has been dropped on him for alleged child support issues. I don't want to get into that too much. But if it's about whose child it really is, go to the Maury Povich show, Chris, please. I want to see the fireworks there. All joking aside, a very sensitive issue. I don't even really feel comfortable talking about in general. Should we be more comfortable talking about this situation? Is this something the public should be concerned about, Paul?
You know what? To me, no. It's the guy's private life, and that's the way I look at it. And the only time it becomes an issue is it affecting his play on the court? And you know, that's where I think you have trouble separating things, in that they always tell you when the mask deploys in an airplane, put on yours before you fix everybody else's, right? So look after yourself. So I think Chris Bosh needs to look after himself, and then he can do right by his team.
If you're following the team as a fan or whatever, and like Paul alluded to, the performance on the court, maybe that's your discretion to decide whether or not it's been affecting him. It's a year where his franchise credibility has come under question, where his motivation has come under question. So if this has played a factor, then if it's on the court, you leave it on the court. I think this is a situation where he has to build for himself. But going forward, you know, if you're questioning his franchise credibility, you look across the league, the conference, to another guy, Dwayne Wade, who's going through something pretty similar. You see the way that he's responded. So as looking at it purely from a basketball sense, that's where your question's got to come in.
Bosh has had good numbers, though.
But you know what?
But there's a difference between numbers and impact.
Yeah, it'd be nice to just talk strictly numbers and impact and everything else. But in the world that we live in today, where anybody can be media with a cell phone and YouTube page,
you got it.
You know, you have to deal with the personal part of his life. It just is what it is. We'd love to say we'd like to keep it private.
There's a balance. Well, I think you like.
There is a balance. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not advocating one way or the other. I'm just saying that this is a reality in our world today.
You need the fast checks of the world to bring out these stories where other guys maybe won't pursue it. And I think you do need the balance, but at the same time, you've got to question where that line is drawn.
Exactly. It is the reality, but at some point, I don't come over and say, hey, Gareth, I heard some noise at your house last night, man. Let me knock on the door and see what's going on.
That's
unless the beer cans are on your lawn, right?
Well, that
you know
makes
what I mean?
That's
a different.
Here's my thing, though, man. We live in this entertainment tonight kind of world where everybody wants to know everything about these celebrities. And Chris, no matter what his personal situation is a celebrity in this city, and he is an NBA superstar. His life is on screen.
So's yours.
So's mine.
So's all of ours.
And you know what?
But that doesn't give people the right, though.
The right is not even the question here. It's whether they do it or not. Because people are going to do it whether it's their right or not.
Like I said, you need that balance, and I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with what I took from that in terms of how it might have been affecting his play. And I think that's the extent of it, to pursue it and to get deeper into to the point where it's so far away from basketball
you're over the line.
that you don't care. You're over the line. I'm talking about.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that different players deal with different situations in a different way, and we should really say that these are just accusations at this point.
Right.
I mean, Chris Bosh's camp has denied it, right?
Nobody's heard
so
Chris's
we want
full
to wait
side.
till we pass judgment on this story about Chris Bosh. But one thing that we can pass judgment on is at 25 years old, where Chris Bosh is at this point of his career, guys. How much more can he grow into a player? What areas can he improve on? Which areas should we expect more from him from?
I think he can grow. I think he's got lots of growing still to do as a player. I look at his career as the marathon. He's run a long way, but he's still got a long way to go. and he's got some things he's got to improve on. He's got to improve his ball handling. He's got to become a better defender consistently. I think those are the things that he needs to do to have an impact, be it with Toronto or if he ends up somewhere else.
I think he also has to have a little more confidence, and that comes with teammates in the fourth quarter, but a little more confidence in the fourth quarter if you're going to be that guy. A little more assertive, I think, with his teammates and in the fourth quarter if you're going to be that guy.
But
Chris Bosh,
help that.
that's what I mean. Teammates help that. But Chris Bosh, statistically, I don't think it is going to get any better, and I'm not sure if that matters. I think it's the impact of him growing as a leader. Yep. I think it's the impact growing into his shoes of what's expected from him. Because as much as he's tried, and I don't think he's faltered in his effort, he hasn't reached the stage of what's been expected from him.
You know what's been expected of him is that guy in the fourth quarter, you give the ball to and you say, go get me 20 right now. Get me 10 free throws and change the tempo of the game, change the game. He's not that guy yet. And here, I have a matrix that I use. Okay. If you're a guy who comes straight out of high school, you have about 6 years in the league to mature. True. He was 1 year at Georgia Tech, so I gave him until his 25th birthday. This is his 25th birthday. If you're a guy who went 4 years, you have until your 25th birthday. Because after a couple of years in the league, you are who you are.
I don't think you start playing your best basketball if you're a 4-year player in college until you're 27 or 28.
Yeah.
I think between 28 and 32. Probably 30, up to 30, because physically you're still there, and now you've learned the game, and that's the problem.
But there's a difference between playing your best ball and being who you are. Like, you know, at a certain point that player is who he is for the rest of his career.
And then it's up to you to put, as Darren said, the right teammates around him to build a team properly.
Yeah, there's also what you've been doing up until that age of 27, 28. What kind of environment have you been? What kind of development have you been heeding? Because the potential that you had between 22 and 26, 27 might not be as strong at 28, depending on what's been surrounding.
And maybe the label of superstar was put on him too early, and maybe he still will become that superstar in the coming years. We got to take a break, so a lot more to come right after this. Far East domination. It was back-to-back for Japan at the WBC. But overall, was the series successful, a failure, or bursting with potential? That's next in